Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sayeedakhanum Pathan, Assistant Professor working at VNR VJEC. Today I am going to give a lecture on integrity constraints over relations. So what is integrity constraints? These are the rules applied to a database to ensure that data remains accurate, valid and consistent. They prevent invalid data from being entered or maintained in the database. Like for example, an instructor name cannot be null in a given university database. The second one is no two instructors or faculties can have the same instructor ID. Why? Because each and every faculty will be having their own unique ID. With that, we are going to identify a given faculty in a university database. The third one is the budget of a department must be greater than $0. These are few general examples just to explain you what do you mean by constraints and why do we require constraints for a database. There are various types of constraints in our DBMS. First one is domain constraint, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint. Fourth one is key constraints. Under each category, we are going to learn the different types of, the different subcategories under each main category. The first one is domain constraint. Domain constraints tells us about what type of value and what range of value can be stored in a column or else attribute. These can be ensured with the help of not null constraint, check constraint and default constraint. Not null constraint is nothing but whenever you are entering anything in a database, it is going to assure you that until and unless you are entering some value for a given field, it is not going to allow you to go for the another operation on a given database or on a given relation. For example, I'll show you how this not null constraint works with the help of an example. Now let us create one table. Create table student SID will be my primary key, or else for simplicity purpose I'll be keeping SID as first column and name as my second column, and I'll be assigning not null constraint to my name, that is my second column. See here, I'm going to create a table called create table. Instead of writing student, I'll be writing st11. Why? Because student table is already there in my database, so it may give an error. That is why I'm taking st11 as my table name. Create table st11. SID is my primary key, that is student ID, and the data type of that one is number, followed by student name, followed by the data type, that is varchar2, and the range what I'm giving is 20 as the range for a name, followed by the constraint, that is not null constraint. See here, name is already used by an existing object. That means st11 table is already exist. So we have to again change the name of this. Now I'll be taking name of the table as st31. Now table is created with a constraint called not null. Now I'll show you how this not null constraint works on this table, that is st31. I'll insert one row, insert into table name, that is st31 values. Insert into st31 values, followed by student ID, that I'll be assigning value as 1, followed by name. Name I'll be giving Saida. See this, have assigned value as 1 SID and name also I'm going to give as Saida. Now whatever constraint we have given while creating a table, we are obeying. That means it has to be successful insertion. We'll see. Yeah, successfully one row created. That means we have inserted one row of data in my table st31. This is how not null constraint works. If at all we are not following, we are not obeying this constraint, what happens? I'll be assigning SID as 2, and in place of name I'll be writing null. I'll be writing null. We'll see whether it will accept or reject. See, it is going to give us an error by saying that cannot insert null into this table ST31. Why? Why? Because we have applied a constraint called not null. This is how this not null constraint works. The second constraint is check constraint. When applied to a relation declaration, the clause check P specify a predicate or a condition. Based on that, we have to insert the values. For example, again I'll show you with the help of a create table, or else, now see, create table 31, that is already there. We'll be going with SID and SName only. I'll just change the table name here as 41. SID I'll keep as it is just to save our time. SName is varchar, and I'll be taking one more variable or one more column name as age. Data type is number. Upon this age, I'll be applying a constraint called check constraint. What is it? Check constraint. With the help of check, I'll be checking the age of each and every student whenever we are inserting a data. Age column must be there whenever you are doing or whenever you are applying this. Okay, age must be greater than or equal to 18. Once you check the syntax, create table name followed by the first column, that is SID, student ID, followed by the data type, that is number, followed by the second column, that is SName. Data type of that is varchar2, range of that one is 20, followed by the third column name, that is age, followed by the data type number. Upon that age, you are applying a check constraint saying that check inside the bracket, age must be greater than or 18. So table created. If at all you want to check how this table looks like under the description box, what is the range you have applied, then you can go ahead with DESC ST41. See, you are able to see whatever number of columns you are having, like SID, SName and age, and what are the data types. Further, we will see how to display the constraint names. Whatever we will be applying the constraints on each and every column, that also I'll show you how to display that. Let us complete all the constraints. After that, I'll be explaining you or I'll be showing you how to display all the constraints. Now, let us check on the given table, or else just now whatever we have created, ST41, we'll start inserting the data. Insert into ST41 values. Okay. So first column is SID. I'll be taking 1 as my SID value. Under name, I'll be writing Saida. And the third one, see, age. We have to be very much careful. Why? Because there is a constraint on this particular column. What is the condition or what is the constraint? Age must be greater than or 18. Means I can go ahead with minimal number as 18. One row created. That means it falls under this condition, age is equals to 18. What if I'll be writing 17 here? What if I'll be writing 17 here? It should not allow us. Yeah. Constraint violated. This is how check constraint works. We can apply this check constraint either on age or else on any numeric this one, or else if at all we have some sort of categories or name of the countries. Depending on the condition, that check constraint works. One more case we will see. 18 I have taken, 17 that is less than 18. I'll show you one more, above 18. Why? Because we have taken a condition, age is greater than or equal to 18. I'll show you like with 19. 19 is following a condition that is under age is greater than or equal to 18. So it has to be successful insertion. Now how to see whether all the rows are been displaying properly or not? Select star from ST41. So whichever successful insertion was there, those rows only we are able to see. Whereas the other one where we have inserted 17 as the age, that will not be visible. Why? Because that is not coming under check constraint. Okay. So third Third constraint is default constraint. Sometimes what happens, instead of inserting again and again the same name, we feel like instead of inserting, we want to be display the data without being explicitly inserted. That time we'll make use of this default constraint. For example, see here, under example, create table student is there, followed by SID, SName, city is there. So three columns are there here, SID, SName and city. Under city you see, by default I have written Hyderabad. That means whenever I'm going to insert a values, I'll be inserting only for student ID and the student name. By default, for each and every student, I'll be getting city name as Hyderabad. In that scenario, I'll be making use of this default constraint. I'll show you how to do this. Create table. I'll be just changing the number or else name here. Why? Because if we'll go with the same name, then it will show us an error. So let us keep the first two column as it is, that is SID and SName. The third column, that is city, varchar 2. You can apply this default column on any default constraints on any column, okay? But make sure that spelling whatever you are writing, that must be correct. Default city, I'll be writing Bangalore instead of Hyderabad. So this query says that you are going to create a table by name ST51 with 3 columns. First one is SID, SName, third one is city. Upon the third column, that is city, you will be applying a default constraint saying that all the students belongs to Bangalore by default. See, table created. Now let us insert values. Insert into ST51 values. This is the general way of inserting values. What we will be doing, insert into table name values followed by 1 comma name of the student followed by some city. If at all I want to change the default city name, I have to mention here any other city name other than the default value. What does this mean? I'm trying to insert a row inside my ST51 by saying that student ID is 1, student name is Saida, and student belongs to Hyderabad. I don't want to go with the default city, that is Bangalore. This is the normal way or general way of inserting one row. Understood? Now, what if I want to follow the default constraint? Then what is the way how we can insert that? Insert into ST51. Here I have to mention the column names, whatever you people have used at the time of creating a table, that is SID, comma, SName. Don't write city name. Why? Because we want to opt or we want to use the default constraint. That is why we'll not be mentioning this city here. Simply you write down the first two columns only, that is SID and this. So here, since 1 I have already taken, I'll be writing 2 here. Under student name, I'll be writing this. So how many columns I have taken? Only 2. Why? Because third column default value I want to use. Insert into ST1 followed by values. Now we will check whether the default Bangalore value for the city, whether it has taken, accepted or not. How to check that? Just display the table. Select star from ST51. See, for the first row, as we have explicitly inserted the city name, it has taken Hyderabad as the city for the first student Saida. Whereas for the second person, though we have not inserted any city name, but by default while creating we have given Bangalore as the city, so it has taken Bangalore as the default city. So let us move on to the third category of a constraint, that is unique constraint. A unique constraint ensures that all the values in a column are distinct or unique. It prevents the duplicate values from being stored in that column. Okay, we'll see with the help of an example. See on the screen, create a table student. There is a table called student where we are having 3 columns SID, name and email. Upon the third column, that is email, we'll be applying a constraint called unique. That says that whenever you are inserting a values inside a student table, always your email ID must be unique. If it is not unique, it is going to give an error. We'll see practically how it works. Create table ST52 SID number. Okay. Email. Directly I'll be taking email instead of yes name. Why? Because we are having SID anyhow. Varchar 2 followed by. Now, wherever you want to apply a constraint, first you have to write down that column name followed by data type followed by the type of constraint, that is unique. Right now we'll be applying a unique constraint on the second column, that is email, or else whatever is there in the PPT, same way we'll try to create here. SID is there, name is there, varchar 2 followed by the third column email. Lastly, put a semicolon, then enter it. You will be creating a table. Your table will be successfully created with 3 columns, SID, name and email. Now shall we insert? Insert into ST52 values. My SID will be 1. Under name I'll be writing Saida. Here see, pathan@gmail.com. This is my first record which I am trying to insert in the table called ST52, where I'll be using a unique constraint. On which column we have applied that unique constraint? On the email. Now this is my first row, so hoping that I'm not going to get any error. Yes, successfully have inserted. Unique stands for distinct value. Now what we will do, just to see how unique works, I'll be just changing the SID number, I'll be just changing the name, but I'll keep this email ID as it is. We'll see whether unique is going to identify this or not. See, it is showing an error saying that unique constraint violated. This is how unique constraint works. Now, there is a property of Oracle where instead of unique name, even if you are writing null here, it is a successful case. It is going to accept our row. It is just that no identical email IDs are allowed, but null cases are allowed in Oracle. If at all you want to see whether this null is going to be displayed in our table, we'll just display, select star from ST52. See? But when we are trying to insert the same mail ID again, it is not going to insert. It is going to show us that unique constraint violated. That is why, with the help of unique constraint, whenever you are applying a unique constraint on any column, make sure that you are going to insert a unique value for a given field. Next, referential integrity constraint. The name itself shows there is a reference kind of thing going on between multiple tables. Basically, referential integrity constraint works on the concept of foreign key. Whenever we are having a multiple table, for example, parent table and child table, there are 2 tables, and you want to create a connection between those 2 tables, then you are in need of a common column between those 2 tables. When we are talking about 2 tables, both the tables will be having their own primary key. Then primary key of first table will be referred as the foreign key of second table. I'll repeat. There will be 2 tables, table 1 and table 2. Both the tables will be having their own primary key called PK1 and PK2. Now, PK1 is referred as foreign key in my table 2. I hope it is clear. Now, we'll see with the help of an example also. For example, create two table, create table T1 or yeah, teacher 1, then teacher ID, number. See, I'm creating first table, or else I'll be creating one parent table. P stands for parent. Create table P, parent ID followed by the data type number, and I'll be assigning this as my primary key. Okay. Next, parent name var2 20. This is my first table. Now second table I'll be creating as child table. Create table C, child ID as number, and this is the primary key for the second table. Primary key, child name var2 with range 20. Now be careful here. Why? Because we are trying to create a foreign key in my second table, that is C table, by referring the primary key of my first table, that is the parent table. What is the primary key of my parent table? PID. What is the data type? Number followed by foreign key. Inside the bracket you write down the column name, that is PID. References. Which table? P table. In P table, what is the ID? PID. See, once again, I'm creating a second table called child table. Create table C followed by CID, number, primary key. This is my primary key in C table, followed by child name var2 20, comma PID. This is the primary key of my first table. PID, number, comma foreign key. Inside the bracket you are going to mention what is your foreign key. PID is my foreign key. References, which table it is going to refer? P table. Inside P table, what is the column name? PID followed by semicolon. Now you have created two tables. One is parent table, child table. In child table, you are going to refer the parent table for creation of this foreign key. We'll start entering the data first in my parent table. Okay. Insert into P values. PID I'll be giving as one number. Saida as my parent name. One is the parent ID and second one is parent name. Since we are having only two columns, I'll be giving only two values. I'll be trying to insert. One more row will insert here, 2. So I'll just display how many rows are there. Select start from P. So 2 rows successfully I have inserted by inserting PID and P name. Same way we have to insert values in my child table. Values. Child ID I'll be assigning as 1 1. Just to differentiate between parent ID and child ID, I'll be just differentiating this 11. Even I can assign 1 also, but it will make a confusion for us. Now in place of child, I'll be writing some name. See here why it is not allowing us to insert, why it is showing not enough value. Why? Because in my child table, we have taken 3 columns. So we have to assign one more value here. Simply we can't take any value here. Why? Because the third column is the foreign key inside my child table, that is referring the parent table. In the parent table, what are the IDs? 1 and 2 are there. Either I can write 1 or 2 here. I can't write anything else. If at all you are writing other than 1 and 2, you'll be getting an error. So I'll be writing 1 here. Since one primary key exists in my parent table. Successfully inserted. Okay. I'll be creating the second row where I'll be assigning 12 as my child ID. In place of child name, I'll be writing this. Here I'll be writing 2. Successfully created. Now I'll show you one fail case where take CID as 13. Here you write name. See here. If at all I'll be writing 3. If at all I'll be writing 3. It has to show me this integrity constraints violated. Why? Because this 3 ID is not there in my parent table. I'll just show you. Select star from P. This is my parent table where I'll be having this 192 as my PID. This PID I'm going to refer as foreign key in my child table. Since 3 record is not there, I cannot refer that 3 as my child table. That is what the error we are getting in this error at line number 1. Error at line number 1. See, it is showing no integrity constraint violated. Parent key not found. I hope it is clear. Now I'll show you what is the content present in child table. That is 11 CID, Zara, and PID is 1, PID is 2. What if I'll be deleting the entire content or the first record from the table P, whether the data still exists in C? Or else, is it allowed for me to delete this content from the parent table? Meanwhile, that same data is being referred in C. That we will see now. Delete from table. Delete from table P where PID is equals to 1. What I'm going to delete here? From the table P, I'm trying to delete row number 1. That is PID equal to 1. The same content, the same PID is being referred in my child table. Delete from table P where PID equal to 1. Sorry. Syntax. Delete from P where PID equal to 1. See what error we are getting? Since the PID value 1 is being referred in my child table, that is the reason we are not allowed to delete directly that content from the parent table. Parent table. This is how the foreign key works. There is one more option called on delete cascade. On delete cascade. With the help of that, okay, this is the one case. This is the deletion I was showing you from the parent table. What if I want to delete? What if I want to delete the row from my child table? Delete from P where CID is equals to 11. Delete from C where CID is equals to 11. One row deleted. See, from the parent table we are not allowed to delete, whereas from the child table we are allowed to delete. Why? Because the CID is not the foreign key for any of the table. That is why we can easily delete this row. Whereas PID is my foreign key. That is why we are not able to delete. Now let us go for the other important topic related to this referential integrity constraint, that is on delete cascade. On delete cascade. How it works? Now just now I told you, like, if at all any column which is been referred by any referencing table, then we are not allowed to delete any data from my parent table. What if I want to delete it? In some cases where the deletion is compulsory or mandatory, then we can make use of this concept called on delete cascade. With the help of that, if at all you are deleting a row from the parent table, then the associated row in the child table will automatically deleted. Now how to create that? While again we have to create two tables, we have to insert two tables, create table parent, create table parent PID and pname. Okay, then we'll create child table also. Child CID is my primary key, then CNAME, then what is this? PID number, foreign key, name is PID, references, which table? References, parent table. Under parent table, what is the column name? PID, followed by on delete cascade. With this option, we can simultaneously delete the content from child table and the parent table. Create table child CID number primary key, CNAME varchar to 20, PID number, foreign key, PID, references, parent PID, references, parent PID, on delete cascade. So right now we are having two tables with us. We'll just describe those tables. Describe parent, describe child. Describe parent and describe child. We'll insert two rows in each of the table just to see how on delete cascade concept works. Okay, so let us insert simple values. Insert into parent values 1. Since only two columns are there, so we need only two names here. Okay, next we'll insert values in our child table. Child values 1, here we have to write the primary key, that is parent ID also. Why? Because that is our foreign key. So just select star from parent, will display both the tables. Child table. Now we are ready with two tables. One is parent table, child table with two rows in each. So let us delete from parent, where PID equal to 1. See, previously where we haven't used this concept of on delete cascade, we were not able to delete any rows from the parent table. Why? Because that PID was being referred in my child table. Now since we have used the concept of on delete cascade, we are able to delete the content from parent table, and also we'll check whether the same row, PID where we have referred in child table is still exist or not. Select star from child. See, automatically that is being deleted. We have deleted only once from the parent table, but the associated or referred or the referencing rows in my child table automatically gets deleted. That is how the foreign key concept under that on delete cascade works. So this is what about the constraint. The last one is key constraint. Key constraint is a basic constraint where in each and every relation, in each and every table creation, mandatorily we are going to use it. One example is primary key. Whenever you are creating a table, whenever you are creating a relation, both table and relation are same. Whenever you are creating this, it is mandatory that you have to include one primary key, that is must. For example, here create table T11. T11 is table name, student ID, number, primary key. What does this primary key indicates? Whenever you are writing a student ID as primary key, then that student ID cannot be null and cannot be a duplicate value. We'll just see here in my parent table. Where is my parent table? DESC parent. We had this table, no? Parent table, where PID is my primary key. Where PID is my primary key. How primary key works? Whenever you are inserting a value, insert into parent values. Insert into parent values. I'll be assigning a value called 1 into that, so it is going to accept. Now, what I'll do, again I'll assign value as 1 only. I'll just change the name here. I'll just change the name here. See what error I'll be getting? Unique constraint violated. Why? Because primary key is a combination of unique and not null. How unique key works? Unique constraint says that each and every time whenever you are inserting, you have to assign or you have to provide a unique value. Now, since 1 is already been inserted and you are trying to insert 1 again, that is why it is giving an error saying that unique constraint violated. I'll show you not null. Instead of 1, I'll be writing null here. I told you primary key is a combination of unique plus not null. Again, I'll be getting an error. This is how primary key works. Whenever you are assigning primary key to any column name, then it must be a unique and also it should not allow null values. That's it about the constraints. Thank you.